Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Court of Random Opinion. My name is Lauren Neidigh. Jennifer K says, grab your popcorn, people. That's right. So David Gingrich, the attorney for alleged felon Laura Owens, put out a blog post this afternoon. It includes a press release from Laura Owens herself where she makes accusations against Rachel Mitchell, the county attorney who's charging her with these felonies. Last night we had a discussion. There was Omar, Bruce, me, Schnitzel Ninja, and Brad when the indictment came out. And I said to Omar, and I texted him about this right before I went live, and I said to him, there's no way she stops. He's going to blog. She's going to post. They're not going to stop. She cannot. Well, she can stop. She could choose to stop, but she won't because she knows that she will get away with it until somebody puts a stop to it by putting her in jail. When I tell you I've had this lady clocked for so long, my God, like, this woman belongs in a jail cell and she will not stop until somebody puts her there. A mental health hospital is not going to fix this. Okay. A therapist not going to fix this on its own. She will not get help until she has no other option, apparently. People with these kinds of issues, they think they can get away with everything and they're going to outsmart everybody else. What we're going to do is read her press release first, and then we'll read his blog post. But this is absolutely crazy. No, I actually didn't think I'm seeing someone says you thought the indictment would make her change. No, I did not. Other people were saying, surely she'll stop now or she'll get smarter now. No, she thinks she's smarter than everybody else and she can get away with this. So she's not going to stop until she is forced to. And the only way to force someone like that to stop is to put them behind bars. So I've said this before, I'll say it again, our jails are overrun with people who need mental health treatment, and our mental health hospitals are unfortunately largely populated by people who need to go to jail. And it sucks. So I hope this person ends up in the right kind of place. All right. Let's see. She won't stop even when she's in prison. She will then scream mental health so she can see the therapist or the doctor in the jail. They have jail providers who can do that. And she can suck it up and do it from not, behind bars instead of behind a phone screen. That's what she can do. All right. So here's the press release. And I actually know who this is in the photo that she's put up here. Keep that in mind. If they are watching and that community member wants to come out and say, hey, that's me, that's fine. But so this person is a resident of Scottsdale, meeting with one of their elected officials. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this photo. Residents have a right to speak up and to contact their elected officials. Nothing nefarious at all in this photo. So whatever's about to be said, absolute bullshit. So I don't think that person is in the chat right now. I don't know if they have even seen this press release yet, but it's absolutely bonkers. So, guys, going to jail is the only way to stop it. You don't get you don't get your cell phone in jail. You don't get unfiltered access to a computer in jail. I mean, sure, she can write Sarah Boone style letters, but she's going to be forced into what she would consider irrelevancy. So that's the only way to stop it. All right. Let me see. I'll zoom in a little bit more here. Okay. On June 22nd, and this is Laura Owens' press release, she wrote this. On June 22nd, 2024, County Attorney Rachel Mitchell was photographed smiling alongside a Justice for Clayton member holding a letter that called for my prosecution, part of a coordinated international campaign. Shut your fucking mouth. To pressure her office into filing charges against me. Dude, you were referred to the county attorney's office by the judge who you slandered and disparaged, by the way. That person, like I said, is a resident of Scottsdale, meeting with one of their elected officials at a public event, handing her a letter that she has not yet read, obviously, is not a crime. It's not even an injustice of any kind. All right. Press release from Laura Owens. As someone who has never been charged with a crime in my life, I am stunned by the 7 felony charges announced. Of course you are, bitch. I am stunned by the 7 felony charges announced against me by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. These allegations appear to be the result of a coordinated harassment, misinformation, and public pressure in the aftermath of a paternity case I filed against former Bachelor star Clayton Echard. Now, if you had just shut your little mouth, there wouldn't have been any pressure. But, you know. Since 2023, I have been the target of a relentless campaign led by a group calling itself Justice for Clayton, a faction of Mr. Echard's supporters who built an entire narrative on a demonstrably false claim that I faked a pregnancy. Ah, that's cute, Laura. You admitted to falsifying evidence and you're now being charged with felonies, multiple felonies, for altering medical documentation and faking evidence. That accusation became their rallying cry, fueling thousands of hours of monetized YouTube content, Reddit threads, and social media attacks, many of which dissected my medical history. No, it actually wasn't your medical history. It was make-believe. Mental health, again. I've said it. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. This is not a mental health issue. This is a criminal issue. Certainly, she has some mental health stuff going on there, but that is not what needs to be addressed to make this stop. And personal life with obsessive cruelty. Actually, that's interesting because I pretty much dissect the exact words that she puts out on the internet on these stupid crusade blogs, but okay. The abuse eventually moved offline. The group issued a public death threat against my mother and called in multiple false welfare checks to our home, knowing the resulting body cam footage would be released publicly and weaponized to humiliate me further. No, people called in welfare checks because you were threatening self-harm. The fucking FBI called in a welfare check on this woman because she did it to them too. As far as a death threat, I would implore you to prove that you weren't the one who sent that yourself. All right. In June 2024, after the conclusion of the paternity case, which you lost, the group turned its focus to law enforcement. They launched an international letter-writing campaign demanding my indictment. So at worst, if what you're saying is true, which you're leaving out a lot of context, at worst, people were being kind of Karens. That's, again, not a crime, but, you know, also, putting this into context, people wanted to see you go to jail because you have continued to stalk and abuse multiple men, call the police and file frivolous reports. You're wasting resources all over the country calling the police on content creators for what? Posting on TikTok? Just 4 days after my case was formally referred to County Attorney Rachel Mitchell, Mitchell was photographed smiling alongside a Justice for Clayton member holding one of their letters that explicitly called for my prosecution. Yes, people do want to see you prosecuted for your felonies. That image was quickly shared by the same group that had targeted me for nearly 2 years, celebrating it as proof that their pressure campaign was working. I've never seen this image until now, and I know that person. He's my friend. You're an idiot. Like, you're an absolute moron. My God. Just posted a video. Oh, God. Pass. I'm going to have to watch that one with Omar. I'm not fucking with that without Omar because I just can't watch all that. I can't watch that guy. He's full of shit. Okay. Let's see. In November 2024, because of my autism, oh my God, here we go again. If you fake pregnancy and alter medical documentation, nobody's just going to randomly believe you have autism, especially because you invented it as soon as it became convenient for you. I formally requested disability-related accommodations from Miss Mitchell's office. While they acknowledged receiving my request, they never followed up. Under federal law, that isn't a formality, it's a requirement. Well, it's probably not a requirement if you don't have autism. They were obligated to engage in good faith, interactive process to determine whether support was needed. They chose not to. That same office has also never acknowledged that I hold a valid order of protection against Mr. Echard, issued in October 2023 after a contested hearing in which the court found, by a preponderance of the evidence, that he committed an act of domestic violence against me, and that there was probable cause he violated that order in April 2025. None of that ever happened, except for the protective order, because you had a dinosaur for a judge. Another Dropbox, Laura, really? Oh, it's the same arrest report we saw in our last Medium article. It says absolutely nothing on it. There's nothing here. But I'll show you guys again just in case. Everything's redacted here. emailed, request/waiver exception. That's checked. What else is checked? Suspect not in custody, known adult. Yeah, that's what this says. So you filing a frivolous police report does not make that reasonable cause to believe that he committed a crime against you. That's stupid. Good Lord. Oh man, YouTube unsubs people all the time, man. It sucks. Top left. What's on the top left? This form opts you in as a victim because there's probable cause of that. Yeah. So opting in does not mean you are pressing charges. So reminder, that does not mean she's pressing charges. That does not mean that a prosecutor is pressing charges. Nobody's pressing charges against him. This is just a form that she filled out. That does not mean what she says it means. She's full of shit. Just Ricardo, thank you for the 2. This monster has the attention of a bigger one. All right. Okay. And also, it was never found that he committed an act of domestic violence against her. That's bullshit. In the May 2025 indictment against me, despite sustained pressure from the Justice for Clayton group, I didn't even know there was an indictment. Okay. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office did not charge me with faking a pregnancy. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Instead, they are allowing that narrative to linger, encouraging that perception without making the allegation because they know it cannot withstand scrutiny. They have omitted the most critical fact. I had lab-confirmed positive HCG, pregnancy hormone, blood and urine tests from licensed medical providers in their possession. So you refused to get an ultrasound from these providers, altered someone else's ultrasound, admitted it in your deposition. Okay. And also, it came out during trial that you can actually test positive for HCG without being pregnant. Even a male can test positive for HCG with certain circumstances. So, goodbye. I also took a positive first response pregnancy test in front of Mr. Echard, which you should just take my word for it, is probably what she meant to write there. Yet none of this was included in the indictment. And why the fuck would it be? It's irrelevant to your felony charges. Nor was it acknowledged in the press release. For transparency, members of the press are welcome to contact me directly for temporary access to my patient portal. She's still doing that. To my patient portal to view the records directly from the medical source. The truth is not hidden. It was simply ignored. These charges appear to be the product of intense public pressure, not impartial judgment. They reflect a system that responded to online outrage, ignored procedural protections, and moved forward based on a narrative rather than fact. It is difficult not to see them as part of a broader effort to discredit me, discourage me, and make an example out of me. I intend to meet these accusations head on. I told you, she's not gonna take a plea. This dumb bitch. Oh my God, she cannot stand not having the power to ruin people's lives. She will not take a bargain. It's not gonna happen. Why? Because that would be the smart thing to do. But it would take away her power and her ability to abuse others. And she can't stand it. I'm telling you, she has to go to jail. Oh my God. Oh, what a moron. I've never seen such a stupid person with so much intelligence. Ah! I mean, she has the education, she has the brains, and yet she acts like such an imbecile. Oh. They reflect a system that responded to online outrage, ignored procedural protections, and moved forward based on a narrative rather than fact. It is difficult not to see them as part of a broader effort to discredit me. I will defend myself fully and relentlessly through every step of this process. Just Ricardo, thank you for the 2. It happened. Trust me, bro. Blake/Laura. Yeah, dude, this is all nuts. Oh my God. She'll go so far as to ruin her own life. She sure fucking will. My God. And he says, Lauren, you're losing your mind. I'm totally here for it. I'm just like, it's kind of like, I'm not surprised, but I'm still baffled. So it's like, I don't even know how to react right now. This is so crazy, man. This is so crazy. She will not stop. She will not stop. All right, and this wasn't even the blog that was posted, bro. This guy's trying to say he's still trying to say that these things were evidence that Laura was pregnant. So in case you forgot about these, I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to hang on. Wait, nope, that's not what I want to do. Well, yeah, maybe we can do that. Okay, so I'm just going to get the frames. So they're showing her before the alleged pregnancy. Okay, and then this is we've seen these already, and we've shown videos of like how they were altered because an actual graphic designer went through and pointed out the shadows and the distortion. So I'm not going to play the videos in full because I know this is a trick where he's going to be like, oh my God, a copyright strike. No, and also people have pointed out that like many people with gluten issues and allergies, they have had bloated stomachs like this. You can see the stomach is very smooth. Where the fuck is her belly button? The color is off. Also, I'm sorry, like I hate commenting on people's bodies, but that is not how a pregnant woman's body changes. You don't just like have a flat chest like that and then your stomach is just randomly poking out. It doesn't make sense. Let's see. Here's another one where she's like, you can see that she's like visibly trying to push her belly out. Like there's effort there. Look at that. You can tell she's trying to poke her stomach out. Once again, holding her arms all weird because she has to do that so she can make herself look pregnant. There again, you can tell she used a smoother on this. And what's part of her charges, like they have her devices or they've gone through her devices and they can tell that things have been altered. So yeah, that's not going to fly. They can tell that these things have been altered. David Gingras can pretend all day long that he doesn't want to read Mike Maricini's laptop analysis, but that's not going to work with this stuff in a criminal trial. Katie, thank you for the 10. Rewatched Omar's stream earlier. Is it not another instance of perjury that she lied for the OOP, that only Clayton had that ultrasound knowing it was her sister's and many people could have it? I mean, obviously it was a lie. I don't know if that had anything to do with the charges. I don't remember specifically what each one was, so we'll have to go back and look at it later. But yeah, let me see. Wow, this is dumb is correct. But Judge Mata stated her pregnancy wasn't proven. But Stephanie, Judge Mata is a liar, remember? The robing room said so or something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I read on gingraslaw.com that Judge Mata was a liar, so. All right. Anyways, here's this. Oh, and Dorico says, when Dave showed these photos, she accused him of revenge porn. Now David shows all these photos in a multitude, right? Right? Ridiculous. I saw a charge about her sister's video. That's right. There was a charge about that video. I think we worked that one out. So yeah. Give me one sec. Yeah, guys, I don't see any videos except for that one. So I think that must have been it. Anyways, here's his blog. Wow, this is a strange time in American legal history. We have a convicted felon in the White House, a man who a jury also found liable for sexual assault and lying about it. We have a justice on the U.S. Supreme Court who was accused of sexual assault and lying about it. We have people kidnapped off the street by the U.S. government and sent to foreign prisons without any due process. We have millions of people saying that's perfectly okay. And on May 1st, 2025, Laura Owens was indicted for things. Are you going to pretend that you didn't see the 7 felony charges? I mean, I guess you could do that. You've already pretended not to know other things. I guess she's now eligible for public service. Okay, so right off the bat here, this has nothing to do with this at all whatsoever. If you are a more liberal leaning person, the hope here is that he will seed into your mind that this is like important to you because you are against Donald Trump and he is also against Donald Trump. Therefore, you should relate to what he's saying. There's a little bit of weird psychology going on here. This is completely irrelevant. And that's assuming you're left-leaning. If you're right-leaning, it's just meant to kind of grab your attention and confuse you. Okay. In light of yesterday's news, lots of folks have reached out asking for comment. So here you go. First, I actually didn't ask for comment, but here I am. First, as I have said all along, I am not a criminal defense lawyer. I am not qualified to represent Laura in this criminal case, so I won't be handling her defense. That job will be left to the best criminal defense lawyer we can find. Of course, I will do anything I possibly can to help support Laura through her case, and I will work with her criminal defense team in any way needed. Second, Justice Trump's numerous felony indictments didn't stop his lawyers from defending him. Again, nothing to do with Laura's case. The filing of criminal charges does not impact the limited scope of my work for Laura. Again, it's nothing to do with Donald Trump, but okay. That work will continue. I'm still planning to ask the Arizona Supreme Court to review the paternity case. That petition is due by May 15th, and I will move forward with that filing as planned. My God, bro. Nothing about the criminal charges affects any of the legal arguments I have made or will make. Yeah, you're right. They're still crap. So my approach remains unchanged. The appeal has always been about protecting the rule of law, including the procedural rules and the Constitution. Sir. He thinks we're stupid. Still. Even though he's lost every single time he said he was definitely going to win, he still thinks everyone else is stupid, and he can pull this shit. Even when someone is accused of a crime, they still have the right to be treated fairly within the limits of the law. And she has been. Third, while I'm not a criminal law expert, based on what I know about Laura's story, I find the indictment deeply concerning and more than a little confusing. Specifically, at least based on what I know today, which may be incomplete or simply wrong. At least we're admitting that. Some parts of the indictment appear to be based on fiction, not reality. How would you know, bro? You don't look at this stuff. You've admitted you won't look at it. Like, you won't look at the text on Mike's computer. You won't look into some of this stuff from Laura's past. You have no idea. So, yes, incomplete or simply wrong is an accurate description of your understanding of these situations. God. He has to remember he has to find someone just as dumb as he is to take in the case. That'll be hard. I mean, she should get a public defender, I think, but we're going to see a Sarah Boone-like parade of lawyers getting fed up and fired and all that shit. So, because she is not going to plea. It is not going to happen. That would be the smart thing to do, and she will not do it. So. Guys, I know I see he is doing, comments about Trump and stuff like that. But a reminder, this is not a political channel. I don't want to see people arguing about, politics in the comments. So I'm just, letting you guys know, please be respectful in that regard. Everyone's welcome here. I don't care what your political persuasions are. Okay. For instance, most of the perjury charges are based on things Laura said after she notified the court she was no longer pregnant. Sir. This occurred in a pleading filed on December 28th, 2023. In that pleading, Laura told the court she was no longer pregnant. Why is that significant? Because, as I have explained before, perjury can't be based on just any false statement. The statement must be material. Sir, she lied about being pregnant when bringing a paternity action. That's pretty fucking material. I mean, my God. If a statement is not material, then it cannot support a perjury charge. Even if the statement is entirely false, that's textbook law. Okay, well, I've seen your textbook law and all the things that you have said. I'm definitely going to win on this. There is 100% no way we lose on this. And you are wrong every single time. Okay, so consider this question. If Laura told the court on December 28th, 2023, that she was no longer pregnant and wasn't having Clayton's baby, how could anything she said after that point change or affect the outcome of the paternity petition she filed against Clayton? I'm not going to consider that question because it's a stupid question. I know that's a brain twister. Well, no, it's not a brain twister. Actually, once you take out the gaslighting and you think about it objectively, hey, this lady was not pregnant and she took this guy to court just to punish him for not wanting to date her. It's actually quite simple. Mind-blowing, but simple. stated as of December 28, 2023, she was not pregnant. Well, she was not pregnant as of a long time before that. So a judge cannot establish paternity without a baby. Neither can a fucking father. So if the baby wasn't real, bye. For that reason, I don't see how anything Laura said after December 28th, 2023, true or not, could have affected the outcome of the proceeding. The outcome of the proceeding was decided the minute Laura's pregnancy ended. It never started. Laura could have lied about 100 things after December 28th, but none of them would have caused a baby to appear out of thin air, and neither would a fucking blowjob. Not even 2 blowjobs, David. Thus, none of Laura's statements were material to the issue of establishing paternity, at least not in my view. And you think this would be the concerning thing? That would be what concerns you, not the fact that a woman could drag a guy to the court and smear his name and put him through hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal fees over a fake pregnancy? I'm not surprised by that at all. Along the same lines, sonograms cannot be used to establish paternity. No, but they can be used to establish pregnancy. And if you use one to establish your pregnancy, it has to be your own. Come on, David. You got this. Arizona law explains how paternity can be proven, and the most common way is with a DNA test, which must show a 95% match. Well, there were multiple DNA tests, actually, and all they could tell Clayton was that there was little to no fetal DNA, but this is a criminal case now. I'm willing to bet they can get those results. In addition, if you believe Clayton and believe that Laura was never pregnant, then a sonogram would not change that fact. Well, it would if it was a fake sonogram, or if she stole it from someone else and altered it to try to lead people to believe she was pregnant, and then posted it on Reddit to try to get everyone to think so. It changes things a little bit, at least the perception of the facts, which is going to be important when you're dealing with a jury, which she will be because she refuses to plea. All right. By the same logic, if Laura was pregnant, a fake sonogram wouldn't change that fact either. I'm so happy for you that I get a chance to defend your client's lies and feel good about it, because I was getting worried because he was being really quiet. No matter how you look at it, a sonogram, fake or real, could never, ever change the outcome of a paternity petition. It's literally not possible. No, but it could be used to prove, if she used that sonogram to show that she was pregnant, it could be used to show that she filed that action in bad faith, knowing it was not true. Thus, even if Laura created a totally fake sonogram, which she did, that would not be material to the issue of paternity because it could not possibly have changed the outcome of the case. Okay, loser. Okay. Questions of law are resolved by the judge, not a jury. That means if my argument is legally correct, you should have led with that, brother. Because how many times have you been correct when you assert that you are 100% correct on these things? Was it none? Laura could ask the court to dismiss any perjury charge that was based on immaterial misstatements. This is, of course, an argument that some other lawyer, not me, will have to raise at the appropriate time. I am also extremely confused by the last charge, count 7, says that Laura did destroy, mutilate, alter, conceal, or remove physical evidence, to wit, exhibits A6 to 7, used during the June 10th hearing. And that was the video that we just looked at. When read, that literally sounds like Laura destroyed 2 trial exhibits. To me, it kind of sounds like she altered it. But okay, if that's what you want to go with. But we know that isn't true. Both of those exhibits were filed with the clerk in electronic form. And those trial exhibits still exist. Nothing was destroyed. No, but they were altered. So this is disingenuous. So despite the strange wording, which I assume just tracks the language from the statute, I am guessing the state is not actually claiming Laura destroyed any evidence. Well, that's not what they said, is it? They didn't say definitively she destroyed evidence. I'm guessing the focus will be on the word alter. Oh, good, we got there. Good job. All right. She somehow fake/edited those 2 exhibits. Yep. That allegation is part of the propaganda spread by Laura's haters over the last several years. Several years. Bro, I didn't even know who she was until like a year and a half ago. Maybe a little more than that. Obviously, Laura has pointed to those videos as proof that she was pregnant. This is why Laura's critics hate those videos, because they contradict the narrative they want people to believe. No, it's because she's faking it. So who is telling the truth about the videos? Is Laura the victim of a false allegation, or did she actually fake the exhibits? Let's consider a few points. Oh, good. Oh, God. Thank God this man's here to explain to me how women's bodies works. Oh, amazing. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to not, go through that bullshit. I think that would be very confusing to hear from a man who, can't even bother to read text messages related to his case, how the female body works. I'm good. Pass. We saw that already. That's a video I showed you guys. Now, having said all that, is it possible the county attorney has other evidence to show Laura faked exhibits A6 to 7? I have no idea. At this time, I don't think so. And as explained above, I have reasons to believe Laura did not alter/edit those exhibits, but I haven't seen what evidence the county attorney has. Neither have you. We kind of have. You can see the evidence that she altered, and also we've seen the stuff that she altered that she admitted to altering in her deposition. It's pretty fucking simple, and it's pretty in your face because she put a Dropbox of bullshit on Reddit for the world to see. Anything is possible, so we will have to wait and see what the evidence shows. That's hilarious. I assume the county attorney would not make an allegation like this without proof to back it up, and yet here you are, blogging a whole bunch of bullshit about it. People may not realize this, but prosecutors who make false claims can be sued for doing so, just like anyone else. Oh my God, we're still on this. Oh, we're going to sue everyone. Oh no, I want Laura to move on. I wish they would just move on. Oh, but no, we're going to sue everyone. You're going to sue the county attorney too now? Is that what's going to happen? Good luck. So for now, like everyone else, all I can do is sit back and wait to see what proof the county attorney has. Or I guess you could blog about it like a little bitch. Keep in mind, sometimes law enforcement makes mistakes. Yes, they make mistakes like not checking on the person they were called to do a wellness check on after that person made suicidal statements. That's a mistake. And just because charges are filed does not mean those charges are legally accurate or supported by proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Kind of like those, protective orders Laura filed for against her victims. I know a certain president of the United States who would agree with that 100%. Ooh, good job. Good job. You brought it back to Trump, as if he has anything to do with this. At the end of the day, all I care is that Laura is treated fairly, she is allowed to present a full and fair defense, and that her case is resolved according to the facts and the law. I don't think you're going to get the outcome you want if that happens, but sure. Finally, here's the statement Laura wrote herself responding to the charges, and that's the stuff we read in the beginning of this. So, yes, Laura Owens is entitled to a trial, if that's what she wants. But I will say once again, assholes are not a protected class in this country. Steve is going live at 4 PST. Yeah, in like 45 minutes, I think. Let me see if I can redirect to Steve, so you guys can go over there soon. Give me one sec. I don't know if he has his redirect on. Might not. Actually, it looks like Flux might be live. Give me one second, guys. And I'm sure Omar will be later. I don't know if she's live right now, though. Yeah, she is. Okay. So I'm going to send you over to Flux, who's talking about this case, and you guys can say hi to her, let her know that I sent you. Oh, hang on. I got to read some of these. Douche Canoe Esquire, thank you for the 5. I will not stop until I've lost in every court in the country, and then I'm going to the Hogue? Hear me out. Thank you for that. Katie, thank you for the 5. So 4 lies under oath isn't enough for perjury, but 1 alleged theoretical Google search should overturn the ruling against Laura. Okay. I mean, that's what we're saying, I guess. All right. Thank you for the $2. Just Ricardo. Step on me, Your Honor. Dingus has lost geek. Oh, my Lord. Wendy A, thank you for the 5. Dude, I'm sure the search warrant info was interesting. They have a lot. Yeah. Drunken Turtle, thank you for being a member for 11 months, almost a year. The stupid is strong with this one. I agree. And Katie, thank you for the 5. I don't think she altered it because she has had so much practice altering tons of things. Jinkers, probably. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Please go say hi to my friend Flux, and I will see you guys later. Her mic broke. Oh, that's ass, isn't it? Hang on. You can hear her. You can hear her. Okay, so I'm sending you over to Flux. Tell her I said hi, please. Send lots of bacon emojis, and I will see you guys soon. Yep. Bye.